The KeysDAN Show. It's the KeysDAN Show. I need a new theme for the KeysDAN Show. You might hear news. You might learn stuff. You never know what you're going to get on the KeysDAN Show. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. What's up, party people? It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, KeysDAN.com. Coming to you live from the Radio What Studios. And this is my podcast, The Keys Dan Show. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do you go? DJLittleRock.com. Let me say that one more time. DJLittleRock.com. Check availability, get a free price quote, and maybe you can have me at your next event. You know, I like to party with the people. You know, I'm booking lots of weddings. Lots of weddings are coming up. Oh my goodness. I know the next wedding that I have is, I think it's August. I've been doing lots of other shows, other public shows that you're invited to as well. The Rab in Conway, Arkansas, for sure, is a place to be. It feels like old times. I mean, people are cautious, taking precautions. I've been wiping the microphones down after all the karaoke singers sing, but for the most part, it's like old times, man. You know, we got to get this economy started, and one of the ways that's happening is the people need to be entertained, the people need to play, the people need to come out and have some fun. And thankfully, in my little corner of the world, my little place in the world in Conway, Arkansas, in the USA, I get to play with the people, and I'm so thankful that they keep inviting me out to play music for them and to do karaoke shows. And I'm so happy when I go out there on a Friday night, 8 p.m., and then we're going till about 1 in the a.m. You know, the hours are a little bit shorter, one more hour shorter. Now they're open a little bit earlier than that if you want to come in, have a couple drinky poos, you know, just after work, after you've been working hard all day, and you might as well spend some time with your friends at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. Yeah, have some fun. And then at 8 o'clock on Friday nights, they got pool tables. There's a pool tournament that's going on. I think they're riding strong. I think this is probably week 3 coming up of the pool tournament. It's nice to have them back, and probably week 5 for me. I think I'm going to stop counting how many weeks it's been since we've been back after the coronavirus lockdown, the quarantine, if you will. But you know, they got good food, good drinks, good people, and just the finest people around are hanging out there at the Rab in Conway, Arkansas. I can't say enough about it. It's a lot of fun, and you know, and going to a place, you know, for a DJ, for anybody, for an entertainer, any entertainer to go to a place and feel comfortable playing for the people. That's fantastic. I mean, sometimes you go to a show and you just don't know what's going to happen. Like I do a lot of first time shows, and you know, you never know what's going to happen. Like last night. Last night I was at the Heber Springs VFW up there in Heber Springs. I think officially it's in Tumbling Shoals, Arkansas, but it's right next door to Heber Springs, and I think that's the bigger city. So they went ahead and named the VFW uh, Heber Springs VFW, but I think the webpage still says Tumbling Shoals VFW. So I don't know. It's kind of confusing. So I get there and you know, hello VFW, Heber Springs Tumbling Shoals. I'm not sure exactly what to call it, but anyway, I might be digressing for this whole Keys Dan show. I'll tell you. Uh, I get. Let's see. I started doing shows there last year, and the first time I walk into that room at the VFW in the Heber Springs, that room is just immaculate. It's a huge rectangular shaped room, perfect for parties. The walls are freshly painted, mostly blue, and then just behind the stage is red walls. So what I did is I wore blue. I wore a blue vest and a blue bow tie, and I, you know, to offset the color red behind me, you know, the old red, white, and blue in the VFW. It seemed appropriate, but their stage is fantastic. If you check out my Instagram, you'll see some pictures of the setup that I did on their stage. The risers are, if you're in a band and you want to play someplace in Arkansas, the Heber Springs VFW, you could do a whole lot worse than that place. I mean, it's just a great room to play in. The dance floor is all Pika floor, made for dancing. There's a big emblem of the VFW on the floor. The stage. Let me talk about the stage. It's three different levels. You know, it's a regular stage, and then the two risers on the sides. So if you had a guitar or a bass player or a drummer, just different levels. The stage is wonderful. The room is wonderful. I can't say enough about the Heber Springs VFW. I don't get to go there often enough. It's nice. It's just a really nice room to have some fun in. And I wish that they would do more parties there. And from what I understand, that big back room is empty most of the time. They use the front room that has a few pool tables. That's fine. And a nice big bar area, just like a typical VFW would have. But the back room is just made for playing. And I'm very grateful that they had me out there last night. I hope they have me back there real soon. But, my, I mean, I'm very thankful to the places that have me do some shows at their. Hey, Rob Smith. Let's see. Hello, Dan from the middle of nowhere, New Mexico. Hey, if you drop comments in the Facebook feed, they're going to live on that video forever and ever. So thank you so much for being out there, Rob Smith. I know we had a few like a minor interaction on Facebook today. He was talking about dads, the father figure, the typical father figure that's trying to run the household in traditional families. I guess quote unquote traditional families. I don't want to offend anybody, but he was talking about he put out a meme saying dads on the inside is I'm fine, and then dads on the outside. I guess I can go to his page and kind of read the different little things. Okay, yeah, dads on the outside, I'm fine, everything's cool, but dads on the inside have feelings of failure, money worries, inadequate. I don't put enough. Let's see. I'd put. I I don't do enough. Yeah, I don't do enough. I need more time. I'm stressed. I'm burnt out. Need to set better examples. I'm confused. That's dads. That's generally, man, a lot of people on the inside. Maybe not just dads. On the outside, most of the interactions that people have is, "How you doing? I'm fine." And that's it. That's all you want to hear from somebody, and then move along. That's typical interactions for people on a daily basis. But on the inside, who knows what's going on in there unless you take the time to talk to people. And one of the things I do, doing podcasts, I've definitely taken the time to talk to people and find out more about them. And like the What Makes You Famous podcast is is one podcast, and I know Rob Smith, your lady Janice has been on the podcast, and she told a great story. Oh my goodness. I sat with her, and she's a real estate agent primarily. That's what we were there for, to on the show, to promote her real estate business. But she came up with a whole story of her life, and it was just amazing. It's amazing, the story so far, and it just keeps unfolding and getting better and better and better. And so if you take the time to talk to somebody, it doesn't have to be on a podcast. I mean, hey, these podcasts are fun and interesting because you get to have these conversations with people, and other people will tune in. They'll learn more about you. They'll gain some insight on what you've gone through, what your struggles are, and maybe it'll touch some people, and maybe it'll connect with someone, and give them some hope or some understanding that, hey, they're not alone. They're not the only ones going through these troubles, these sorrows, these tribulations, these trials. But just uh, I'm privileged. I'm privileged not only to do the DJ shows, the karaoke shows, the shows around town. Oh, and yeah, I guess I'm at the Choctaw VFW on July 11th. Kind of excited about that one. That's another big room of VFW. But I also, getting back to the What Makes You Famous podcast, I get to chat with people for hours sometimes. And sometimes it'll be I'll get into it. They're primarily going to be talking about their music career or whatever business that they're in. Their restaurant business, their guitar business, their their stand-up comedy routines, whatever they were there to start with. And then by the time you get into it with them, if somebody's really willing to open up and tell a little bit about themselves, man, I'm willing to listen. And my listeners are enjoying it as well. I'm getting feedback from people talking about, man, I enjoyed that conversation. Can I come on your show and tell my story? Well, yes, please. I do appreciate that it has taken off. It has snowballed. So yeah, I'm appreciative for the people that have come on the What Makes You Famous podcast and the ones that are coming up. We got tons of shows coming up. I'm trying to do 3, maybe 4 in a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I have those set as regular days to do the What Makes You Famous podcast show. But sometimes on a Thursday, when somebody cannot make it on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, or they have to go earlier in the day, sometimes I have availability on Thursdays. Like if I'm talking to somebody in England, and it's 7:30 my time, which is when I usually do the um, the podcast. It'll be 1:30 in the morning for them. So sometimes that's a little bit late, little bit into the wee hours of the morning. So I want to accommodate people. And if I do it at 11 a.m. my time, it'll probably be around 5 a.m. their time or so. I don't know math. I'm not really doing it in my head right now. But I appreciate it. I appreciate the conversations. I appreciate the real life um, stories that I'm getting to hear, that I'm privileged to hear. And if you want to tell your story, you can. 501-470-6386 is the number you need to call, or email info@radiowhat.com. That's the other number, the other way you can get a hold of me. Now, on these KeysDAN shows that I've been doing weekly at 6 p.m. Central Time here on my Facebook feed and also on my YouTube and now on the Twitch. I put them on the Twitch too because I have all these live streams. I was trying to learn how to do the Periscope on Twitter, but I don't think I set that up properly. So if I did, it's out there. I will probably never know how to get a hold of it because I'm trying to figure out how to get to my Periscope. But I might be periscoping live right now. Maybe somebody can tell me. But for now, I do know that the Facebook, my personal Facebook, is going live. My YouTube, KeysDAN YouTube, and also my KeysDAN Twitch is live. So if you want to say a few words about what's going on in your world today, in your piece of the world, or you have any views that you want to discuss, you can call me right now. Right now. You don't have to spend a whole hour with me. You can spend, 30 seconds, 5 minutes, just telling me what's going on in your world. If you have your business that's opened up and it's struggling, and you want some people to come and visit you, maybe I can help bump you up a little bit and promote you. That's the other reason that I started this show, is to promote people. Yeah, this way, if you talk to me, I get content, you get promotion. It's mutually beneficial. How about that? And then people don't have to listen to me rattle on about nonsense, about whatever's going on. But hey, and I appreciate when you make comments on the Facebook. I have that loaded up in the embedded into the video, so you'll see that when it's up on YouTube and on Twitch forever and ever. So join me. Won't you join me? Well, as it is today, it's Sunday. What is it? Oh yeah, June 28th, 2020, as I'm recording this. If you're just listening to the audio portion, hey, good to have you. Yeah, I put the audio version of it everywhere. And then the video version will live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. So there you go. And you could be a part of it forever and ever. Today, the days of the year. There's a daysoftheyear.com that I often go to because it's real quirky. Sometimes every day is celebrating something, and usually not just one thing. It's several things. Like today is Log Cabin Day. Log Cabin Day. Okay, what is Log Cabin Day? Back in the early days of the world, people built homes out of strong and sturdy logs, carefully notched together and sealed in between with a caulking agent like mud or clay. Log cabins were sturdy and reliable and could stand the test of time. Admittedly, you'd have to change the roof out every so often, but ultimately, there was nothing like them. They were especially popular in the frontier days of the American migration west, and 7 of the American presidents were born in them. I think it wasn't it Abraham Lincoln was famously born in a log cabin, and then one of the things on the campaign trail is politicians try to tell you about or try to build the log cabin that they were born in. Yeah, that's a saying, right? They build the log cabin that they were born in. And see, Log Cabin Day celebrates the history of the log cabin and commemorates this most humble of homes. The history of Log Cabin Day. Log Cabin Day was originated by the Log Cabin Society. Go figure. In corroboration with the Bad Axe Historical Society. Each year, people go out and help to preserve historical log cabins so that they can be maintained for the future and hold on to the artifacts and memories that make them so important. So important to the American history and idea of humility is the log cabin that the Whigs, American colonists who supported the American Revolution, used it as a symbol of William Henry Harrison's campaign to show that he was a simple man of the people. Log cabins go back a lot further than just the Americas, though. Anywhere there were tall, sturdy timbers, the log cabin became a mainstay of habitation. The Wood Museum in Trondheim, okay, displays. I'm going to find out where Trondheim is before I go any further. Trondheim, historically, Kapangan, uh, oh, somewhere in Norway. Okay. The Wood Museum in Trondheim displays multiple forms of log cabin, 14 in toto. But log cabins appeared all over the northern reaches of Europe in an incredible range of styles. Sometimes the outside was even hewn flat so that siding could be put on, and occasionally the interior was given the same treatment to make the way for wallpaper, lathe, or plaster. Log cabins are just that versatile. No wonder they're still a loved form of home to this day. In fact, my mom and stepdad are building a log cabin right now in Tennessee. They they are building a log cabin in like just I guess just south of Nashville, somewhere in that area. Yeah, yeah. My mom and dad. How about that? Are building, and they're. I mean, I'm 51. My mom must be she never liked me to tell her age. She was always like my. She always introduced herself as my sister. That was kind of weird growing up, wasn't it? Okay, but yeah, they're building a log cabin right out there. So yeah, still gets used right now by my own family. How to celebrate Log Cabin Day? There are log cabins all over the USA. And if you live near one of them, you can often rent them for a weekend or more. There are also homes in the US that are built to this day like actual log cabins. So if you've ever wondered what it'd be like to live in one, check out a modern day log cabin. They're warm and inviting and naturally insulated against heat and cold. Take Log Cabin Day to celebrate these amazing parts of American history and the fantastic homes they were and have become throughout the world at large. That's cool. All right, today's Log Cabin Day. How's your day? Are you celebrating? Are you in a log cabin? Are you keeping warm? Are you keeping cold? I don't know. It's it's getting hot out here in Conway, Arkansas. That's for sure. I don't know exactly what the temperature is, but I went out there venturing, looking for shoes. I did. I found some shoes, and I got the Nike Monarch 4s. I had Monarch 2s that are cloth, but my little pinky toe started jabbing through. I wear an 11 wide, and my little pinky toe is a little wider than 11 wide. So I had to get, well, they didn't have the Monarch 2s. So I got the Monarch 4s, which are all leather. I guess it'll be a little hotter, but it's going to be a little sturdier. Give and take, right? So yeah, I mean, as soon as I wear them in a little bit, they'll probably be a little bit more comfortable. But hey, nice to have a new pair of shoes. I'm blessed. I work hard and I got myself a new pair of shoes. How about that? And I got my daughter some too. She got some Adidas, or I guess when I was listening to a podcast with the CEO of Adidas, that's how he pronounced it, Adidas. It's not Adidas. The whole time, man, Run DMC told me that it's my Adidas. No, it's Adidas, according to them. And if he's the CEO of Adidas, it's probably Adidas. So there you go. There's a pair of Adidas in the house. Today is also International Body Piercing Day. Who's got body piercing? I know when I was a kid growing up. Oh, okay. See how heavy I am right now? Well, when I was trying to get into the fire department, I started to lose weight. I started to run. And for every 10 pounds that I lost, and I had to lose a lot to get myself in shape to run the course at the fire department, to get myself in shape, every 10 pounds I lost, I would pierce my ear. So, and I only wore it on my left ear. So I lost 70 pounds. So I ended up with 7 earrings up my ear. So yeah, that was a little tradition that I did. And I think I think you could probably still make out maybe two holes on this ear where you could still maybe make out that there was an earring there at some point, but they have since closed up. Oh, Ruth Ann Downs out there saying, "Hi, Dan." Well, if you want to call me, you can right now, and you can be a part of this show. Your little voice will be right on here. She's one of the singers, one of the talented people that goes out to the Rab on Friday nights. Of course, I'm not going to tell you her pseudo name, her secret name. She doesn't go by Ruth Ann Downs. So you'll have to find out on a Friday night if you're privileged and honored to be there at the Rab at the same time she's there. Hey. So yeah, I mean, like I said, you can give me a call right now. You could be a part of this show, and I will put it out as a podcast, and you will live on forever and ever and ever. At least your voice will forever and ever. So today, like I said, it's International Body Piercing Day. You have any body piercings? Drop me some comments. Let me know. Any place interesting? Hey, keep it G or PG, okay? I'm trying I'm trying to get this thing out to the world and not offend too many people. All right, so International Body Piercing Day. Throughout the world, body modification has been used for many purposes, from self-expression to rites of passage, shock value, even religious observances. There has been a growing movement in the Western world driving body modification to the forefront of popular forms of expression and self decoration. The history of body piercing isn't clear, as there is a lot of misleading information out there, but there is significant indicators that it has been practiced by both men and women since prehistory. Isn't that just history? No, I guess before it was written. Body Piercing Day is an opportunity for you to find a new way to express yourself with this age old practice. Are you getting any ideas? Are you going to go pierce something? Ear piercing has been well known in Western cultures for at least the last couple of 100 years, and the evidence of it goes back quite a bit further, with evidence of ears and nose being pierced being discovered in the graves of many cultures, even as far back as 5,000 years ago. So, all you kids with your nose piercing thinking that, oh, I'm being hip. This is brand new. I'm fresh. I'm funky fresh. Just like me saying funky fresh. It's been that nose piercing's been going on for 5,000 years. It was a well known way of sending wealth along with the dead into the next life and honoring them in their burial site. But this is just the tip of the proverbial iceberg. Lip and tongue piercings have been present in throughout the world, particularly well documented in African and American tribal cultures. Nipple can be tracked back at least as far as the ancient Romans, while genital piercing, ooh, I think I just hurt myself on that one, made a perhaps unexpected debut in ancient India. Body Piercing Day is originally dedicated to Jim Ward, often heralded as the granddaddy of the body piercing movement. Jim Ward has been an incredibly influential part of the new body modification movement with a specific focus on body piercing. He has been part of the forward driving force for piercings in the Western world and has helped to develop the basic techniques for piercing with a special focus on genital piercing. He is directly responsible for introducing the incredibly popular barbell piercing. Mm, I don't even want to look that up. I don't want to know. Style to the U.S. in the internal threading style of them was a vast improvement over existing piercing techniques. This technique he picked up from the Tattoo Sammy from Frankfurt, Germany, who had come to visit him a number of times in the U.S. after this. Body Piercing Day is a great opportunity to finally take the plunge and get yourself that piercing you've been contemplating with the ability to choose from the ever growing selection of piercings, from earpiece piercings, nose piercings, lip and cheek piercings. You can display your individuality with a piece that's meaningful to you. I noticed he didn't repeat the genital piercing. Nope. That's for the chosen few. Let's see. Well, I mean, hey, if you got one, it's fantastic. More power to you. Seems like it would hurt. Let's see. But maybe that's part of the deal. Maybe that's part of the deal. Some people like the pain of it, and feel the anxiety. I guess they get the endorphins. The epinephrine flows through you as this happening. I guess same thing with tattoos. Let's see. Those are just the ones that are easily visible when you take into account nipple piercings, the always sexy belly button piercing. Yeah, kind of sexy. I agree, and the incredibly daring variety of little piercings. There are tons of options for enhancing your life in some rather creative ways. Recent innovations have also brought into light the dermal, where a circle of skin is essentially punched out of your skin and a mounting plate slipped under the surface. These can be placed just about anywhere on the body, but are quite common at the top of the sternum, with sparkling jewels or a loop ring being fastened on. Body Piercing Day is a day to join the ever growing number of people who have started getting piercings. In England in 2005, a survey was done that revealed that 10% of people over the age of 16 have piercings in locations other than their earlobe. Ooh. Women, as usual, are leading the charge in the newest form of fashion, and the men aren't far behind. Body Piercing Day is your day to be daring, so get out there and get pierced. Oh my goodness. Are you getting pierced today? Anyone? 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 Fry? Bueller? Anyone? Yikes. No, I'm not getting pierced today. I've been pierced. I've had piercings before, but not today. Not today. Let's see what else is going on today. Well, I mean, if you want to call, like I said, 501-470-6386. We'll put your voice on the air. The Keys Dan Show. You could be a big part of it. And I mean, just if you want to get on for about 30 seconds, 5 minutes, whatever. Don't want to do a whole podcast. This is your chance to jump on and promote yourself. Tell the people what you're up to. Let's see. Also, June 28th, 2020 is also Logistics Day. What is Logistics Day? Learning a lot about what's going on today. Logistics Day recognizing and appreciates the importance that the logistics sector plays. I guess I should read this a little more panned, straight panned. Logistics refers to the process of moving and coordinating resources from one location to the other. There are also many different parts of this, from packaging and shipping. There's also a wealth of equipment, inventory, materials, and people involved. Logistics Day was created to celebrate all of this. Whether or not you are a business owner, you will recognize that most businesses focus on designing and producing services and products that will fit their customers' needs. However, if these products do not reach the consumer base, the business is going to fail. This illustrates just how critical logistics is and why we celebrate it. Take a look around your home now. It would probably be empty if it were not for those working in the logistics industry. When discussing logistics, you can generally separate this into five different elements. These are as follows. Number one, materials handling, warehousing, and storage. Warehouse buildings are required in order to store stock until consumers need them. Specialist storage equipment, like material handling equipment, racks, and shelves, are required in order to move products around as well as to load and unload them into delivery vehicles. Number two, packaging and unistation. Unitization. Okay. Packaging is a key part of the care and condition of a product. Unitization is also vital as it aids transportation and storage. A cube is the easiest product for storage and handling. Because of this, unitization and packaging will attempt to take all different shapes and sizes of a product and pack them as near as possible into a cuboid shape. Inventory is number three. Inventory is a logistical element that is concerned with how much stock a company holds and where it is held. Number five. Okay, well, no. Number four. Transport. Of course, transport deals with getting products from one place to another. Goods would not be able to move along and the supply chain without this. It involves all modes of transport, including air transport, cargo shipping, freight trains, and road vehicles. Number five. Information and control. This is needed across all elements as it will determine how operational procedures are carried out. Information and control are needed to plan transport, for example, as well as picking and packaging in warehouses. All right, all right. National Logistics Day. Fantastic. Okay, I guess I can go through the history of National Logistics Day. The term logistics was originally coined as a military term. It was used to describe how military personnel moved, stored, and obtained supplies and equipment. Today, though, the term is widely used in the business sector, especially by businesses operating in the manufacturing industry. It is used to reference how resources are moved and handled in the supply chain. The logistics sector first started to gain momentum when Marco Polo traveled on the Silk Road to China, keeping a detailed written record, which paved the way for merchants and traders to use this road between China and Europe in the future. In 1896, the first semi truck horseless carriage was created. This improved how items would be transported. In 1910, the first ever air cargo flight happened between Columbus and Dayton. This increased the speed at which products could be delivered within the United States. The first container ship also occurred across America, sailing to Texas from the port of New Jersey in 1956. This changed how products would move globally forever. And this is how logistics started. Since then, the industry has only gone from strength to strength. Now you know about the history of logistics. But what about the day itself? It was founded in 2019 by Logistics Plus Incorporated with the aiming of celebrating the growing and important logistics sector. So it's pretty recent. The company has been supporting the logistics industry since 1996. It is headquartered in the historic Erie, Pennsylvania train station. The building has almost 50 country flags flying on top of it, representing the nationality of one of its customers or employees. This gives a nod to just how global logistics is in the current day and age. So pretty recent. Fantastic. How to celebrate Logistics Day? And there are a number of different ways that you can do that you can do in order to observe Logistics Day. One option is to simply spend some time learning about logistics. There are so many great resources on the web. including sites that are purely dedicated to logistics news. This is certainly worth allocating a bit of time from your day in order to enrich your knowledge about the industry. Another activity that you can enjoy on Logistics Day is discovering the logistics behind one of your favorite products or services. This could be anything from your favorite makeup products to your sports jerseys. Why not do a little bit of research and delve into the details regarding how the product goes from being raw materials to arriving at your front door? The internet is home to a wealth of information, and so you may be able to piece together all of the details so you can understand the full journey that your most loved products go on. You can also learn about the logistical effort that goes into some of the world's most famous events, from motto events to award ceremonies. You will probably be surprised to learn about how great of a role logistics plays. You could also find out whether there are any events going on in your local area. Really? Logistics events? There are often logistics trade shows, conferences, and events that take place around the world. If you really want to get an understanding of this industry, going to one of these events is certainly recommended. And finally, you could even play a logistics game. You can get online games based on everything nowadays, from building your own hotel empire to running a travel agency. There is nothing you can't do. This includes building your own logistics empire. If this is something that you are interested in, simply do a quick search online and you will see that you actually have a few different options to choose from. This is a fun way to get a better understanding and appreciation for the logistics sector. Ah, there you go. Logistics Day. It's today. Are you celebrating? Are you logistics? Oh, what is? Oh, June 28th is also Ceviche Day. Ceviche. What is ceviche? I'm going to learn about ceviche. What is it? If you're partial to a bit of seafood on your plate, then you must try ceviche, a dish most popular in the Caribbean and on the coast of Latin America. Ceviche is a meal made from raw, fresh fish, which has been cured with lemon or lime juices, sometimes both. I must have had ceviche sometime in my life. Growing up in the Florida Keys on those islands, I must have had some. Depending on where you go try it, you may find it served up with chopped onions, cilantro, and dashes of salt. It's often dished out with side dishes like lettuce, avocado, and sweet potato, just to name a few. On Ceviche Day, it's time to discover the fishy goodness that this that is this tasty seaborne dish. The history of Ceviche Day. Any good food gets its own day of observance, and this is no exception. Although it is popular in some parts of the world, it might not be so well known where you are. And today makes sure that you find out what you have been missing. If I've never tried ceviche, I'm looking at a picture of it right now, and it looks pretty good. I mean, it looks like some like maybe sushi that's been that doesn't have any rice on it, just some raw fish with some little vegetables on it. Probably tastes pretty good. I might try some ceviche. Maybe not today, but soon. Maybe not today. Maybe not tomorrow, but soon. See, soon. Yeah, ceviche. Try some ceviche. Go ahead, do it. I dare you. Let's see what else is going on in the world. What's going on in the world today? Hanging out on the KeysDAN show. Why am I doing this? I don't know. I like it. I like doing these things. I like learning about stuff. And while I'm learning about stuff, might as well read it out loud. Could you read out loud from the book, please? Oh, June 28th, 2020 is also Paul Bunyan Day. Paul Bunyan, the big man, Paul Bunyan. Paul Bunyan Day. Let's learn about Paul Bunyan. I know a little bit about Paul Bunyan. Let's find out more about Paul Bunyan. It may sometimes seem as though a great majority of the most popular folklore characters are evil predators who spend their lives hunting for their next victim. Paul Bunyan, on the other hand, is the embodiment of the all-American lumberjack, tall, strong, capable, and good-natured. The history of Paul Bunyan Day. That's today. The character of Paul Bunyan originated in the oral tradition of North American loggers dating back to the mid 1800s. For at least 30 years, Paul Bunyan stories, some of which included motifs from older folk tales, such as absurdly severe weather and fearsome critters, were often told in the lumber camp bunkhouses. Even the etymology of the name Paul Bunyan is unknown, but many think it could have been related to the Quebecois? Quebecois? Quebecois. Ah, Quebecois. Quebecois? Man, that's something French for sure. Quebecois expression. Bonyene. Like Bunyan, Bonyene. That expresses surprise or astonishment. Paul Bunyan was later popularized by freelance writer and ad man William B. Lafayette, 1882 to 1958, in a 1916 promotional pamphlet for the Red River Lumber Company, who was looking for a face for the advertising campaign. Lafayette, is it Lafayette or Loghead? It's spelled Laugh, EAD. Lafayette or Loghead? Hey, man, that would make more sense if he was advertising for a log company. Loghead. I'll say Lafayette. Embellished greatly on the character's older exploits and added some of his own, such as Paul Bunyan's pet blue ox, Babe. The writer also increased Paul Bunyan's body to impossible proportions. Despite this, however, the character quickly became a hit, and the Red River ad campaign made Paul Bunyan a nationally recognized figure. The character's name and image continued to be utilized in promoting various products, cities, and services over the following decades. And giant statues of Paul Bunyan were even erected in several cities. Oh, I thought there was only one. There's several of them. Okay. Paul Bunyan Day was created to celebrate this influential bit of folklore and all it did to promote local businesses and tourism in numerous communities in the northern states. How to celebrate Paul Bunyan Day. If you're an adult, it's possible you've forgotten just how much fun folklore can be, whether it takes the form of ghost stories told around the campfire while roasting marshmallows or terrifying horror movies. If you do like horror movies, you're in luck, as countless ones have been based on folklore and urban legends. F.W. Murnau's Nosferatu, a 1922 silent German film, is a classic of the folk horror genre. One of the first horror movies ever made, its German expressionist style and haunting depiction of the title monster are sure to remain in your memory long after viewing. In fact, Nosferatu is even recognizable to people who haven't seen the film, showing the impact the film has had on popular culture since its release almost 100 years ago. The Wicker Man, a British classic, is also well worth watching for its chilling depiction of cult mentality. Just make sure you watch the original, not the 2006 Nicolas Cage remake, which I've seen. I thought it was pretty good. Hey, it's Nicolas Cage. Yeah, everybody has a Nick Cage. And that was probably the worst one ever made. We got to get to the national treasure. Okay. Which has been mocked by both audiences and critics alike since its release. Tim Burton's Oscar winning Sleepy Hollow, based on the Washington Irving's American classic, The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, focuses on the Headless Horseman, one of America's most infamous folk characters, and could also be a good choice on this day. Unfortunately, Paul Bunyan does not have his own movie, aside from a 1958 animated musical. Well, dig that one up. Paul Bunyan Day is also the perfect day to find out more about local folklore. No matter where you live in the world, there are definitely some interesting legends about the area. So take advantage of this little folk hero holiday to find out some more. Just don't believe everything you read. You never know what you're going to get on the KeysDAN show. There's so much to learn. Oh my goodness. The KeysDAN show, hanging out on Sunday evening. 6 p.m. is when I do these things. All right, let's move over to the history.com. I like digging up stuff on that one as well, not just the daily stuff, but it also comes up with this day in history. Now, this one could be timely. I mean, you can see that people are people throughout history and always have been. There's always been struggles. Let's uh let's move in today in history. The Stonewall riots begin in New York City's Greenwich Village sometime after midnight on June 28th, 1969, in what is now regarded by many as history's first major protest on behalf of equal rights for LGBTQ people. A police raid of the Stonewall Inn, a popular gay club located on New York City's Christopher Street, turns violent as patrons and local sympathizers begin rioting against the authorities. Although the police were legally justified in raiding the club, which was serving liquor without a license, among other violations, New York's gay community had grown wary of the police department targeting gay clubs, many of which had already been closed. Soon, the crowd began throwing bottles at the police. The protest spilled over into neighboring streets, and order was not restored until the deployment of New York's riot police sometime after 4 in the AM. The Stonewall riots were followed by several days of demonstrations in New York and was the impetus for the formation of the Gay Liberation Front, as well as other gay, lesbian, and bisexual civil rights organizations. The next year, in 1970, New York's first official gay pride parade set off from Stonewall and marched up 6th Avenue. June was later designated LGBTQ Pride Month to commemorate the uprising. In 2019, just last year, as I record this, the New York Police Department formally apologized for its role in the Stonewall riots and for the discriminatory laws that targeted gay people. That's on this date in history, back in 1969, June 28th. And here we are, still in struggles, still trying to figure out our place in the world. People are not being treated equally. People just want to have their equal treatment. But I think, man, work hard, and you're gonna get the things you want. It's the way it's been for me. But hey, am I one of the privileged ones? Maybe. I'm half Cuban. I'm half Irish. So I don't know which part's the privileged one. The Cubans weren't treated too well, but I think a lot of the Cubans that moved to Miami, a lot of them got BMWs, nice houses. So I think they worked hard for their money. Some people might say there was some drug money involved, but that's allegedly. Say hello to my little friend. But hey, the if you come to this country, you work hard, you're gonna make a living. You're gonna succeed. But some people don't have that advantage, that privilege, or don't feel that they have that privilege. I don't know. I've never been one of the quote unquote unprivileged, or was it underserved people of the world. I don't feel like I'm underserved. I don't I work I work really hard for what I got, and my family, we live simply. But that's a whole nother story. But this date in history, the LGBTQ people, this might have been the start of that movement. I'm sure it's probably not the start of gays in general. There've been gays throughout history. So it's just the time where they said enough was enough, and we're fed up. We're fed up. We're not going to take it anymore. Just help each other. People helping people. That's the way it should be in this world. For those of you that would like to tell their story, I encourage you to give me a call, 501-470-6386. And you can tell your story on my other podcast, the What Makes You Famous podcast. Hashtag What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere. And then if you want to learn some stuff, kind of like what I've been doing today, just reading stuff and and learning some things. And you want to learn something while you're driving your car, and you like the sound of my voice. You want to learn something while you're lifting your weights, and you like what how I sound. I do I do the daily. It's probably a daily podcast. What Makes You Famous podcast. If I, at the very least, I try to do the 10 things you need to know today, which is 10 news items and a couple of paragraphs about those news items to give you some knowledge and, make you more informed. I'm not saying that this is the only place you need to get your news. You better not be getting all your news from the KeysDAN show or from the What Makes You Famous podcast for sure. But certainly it could be, just an add on for that kind of thing. I like to learn some things, and I got this microphone sitting in front of me. Might as well crack it open while I'm learning some stuff. And then you could learn some stuff too. How about that? How'd that be? We can learn from each other. Yeah, I like to learn from you. I like to know your viewpoints. I like to know why you think the way you think, what's going on in your head, in your gray matter. Why? Why do you think that way? You can talk to me, and I'm good for open conversation, having having some talks with people, and yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's very rewarding. It's very enlightening to know what people think, and to hear what people are why they do the things that they do. All right. Obviously, I'm winding down. Today, I did the 10 things you need to know today on the What Makes You Smarter podcast. Planning for the next week, I have 4 podcasts coming up: Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7:30 p.m. Central Time. I usually record those, and within an hour after we're done recording them, I'll have them posted up online. The video version, if I have one, will be on YouTube, and then the audio version will be everywhere you find podcasts. So that's Monday through Thursday next week. Usually it's only Monday through Wednesday, but I made an exception because I had someone that couldn't make it last week. So I mean, couldn't make it on Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, so they got scheduled on Thursday. And then Friday nights, make sure you visit with me at the Rab. It's July 3rd, Friday night. So we'll do some American music. I'll play some Americana stuff. I won't stick to it, but I'll play a lot of American rock and some Southern country and that kind of thing, and maybe a Yankee Doodle Dandy or something in there. But yeah, and then the 4th of July coming up. I know that the world is still half in quarantine and half out of quarantine. There's still a lot of fireworks that are being bought. I know the stands are up and running and selling lots and lots of fireworks. But there's talk, at least here in Conway and Arkansas and Little Rock, Arkansas, and maybe all over the state, that gatherings are going to be banned, and maybe you're not allowed to light your fireworks. I think going outside is okay, though. I mean, that's the place you ought to be, is going outside and getting some sun and enjoying yourself, rather than staying cooped up with all these germs inside your house. Unless you have a good air filter that's cleaning the air, cycling the air out, you're going to be living with all these germs inside your house. So go outside and play. If you want to stay away from people, if you're not feeling too good, if you have a low immune system, I encourage you to stay away from folks and maybe not go out and hang with people. But if you're feeling good and you're generally healthy, for the rest of us, go out, get to work, play after work. Go get some sun, get that good vitamin D, exercise. Yeah, make yourself feel good, and get that immune system, real strong, so we can combat not just COVID-19 coronavirus, but any virus. Keep yourself healthy. I got a little bit of a stuffy nose, but I think that's mostly because I'm wearing these headphones. As soon as I take the headphones off, it clears up right away. That's happened since I've been wearing headphones for this radio stuff, man, so I can hear myself talk and make sure that the vocals are good. But yeah, winding down. Thank you so much for putting up with me, listening to my voice as I learn some stuff and kind of wind down the week with you on a Sunday evening, 6 p.m. Central Time, right here on the KeysDAN. Well, I guess I branded KeysDAN pretty well, the KeysDAN Show, and you can look at my KeysDAN Facebook, the KeysDAN YouTube, and the KeysDAN Twitch feed now. Yeah, and then it'll be all over social media and all over podcasts. Hashtag KeysDAN Show. Yeah, you can find it out there. All right, party people. That's it for me. It's KeysDAN on the KeysDAN Show with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out of here.